What's going on? How's it going, guys? Glad to be back for another one of these Tuesday live streams. And you know what that means? It's Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So just got home, literally just rolled in from work, changed into a comic book T-shirt out of my polo, put my flannel on because it's still freaking cold here. And yeah, I'm gonna try to put together a show for you guys. And I didn't realize until I was naming this video Tuesday Night Livestream 33. This is my 100th video. So, and it's kind of like a week after my 1 year anniversary. So, double yay, I guess. So, big thanks to you guys, the community, for putting up with me for a full year and 100 of these crazy videos for some reason. So, big thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Before I get into polls from last week, I need to get into the chat because we already got people hopping in here. He's burning it down. We got the architect, Sam's Tangled Web. What's going on, Sam? Check out his channel, please. He just started a contest yesterday, I believe. So I definitely need to do myself a service, watch that video, and I'd like to participate in his contest in one of these live streams down the line. So check out Sam's Tangled Web, one of the architects of this comic book community. Next up, still no glove. We got Mr. White Glove, Splash Page Comics. What's going on, Splash? Like I said in our Comic Core chat, I'm always happy to see Splash Page Comics in my chat because I know he's got that blue wrench of doom. We're safely moderated for tonight, so he'll be the only troll. But nonetheless, happy to have you, Splash. Next up, we got Prowler671. It's always good to see him each and every week. Great to see him. We got one of my favorites in the community. We got Joker68. Hopefully he is doing well and feeling good tonight. But I always enjoy talking to Joker68. So I'm very glad he's up and at him and in the chat tonight. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and talk about my pulls from last week. On top of the stack, I got Criminal #2. This continues to be a pretty solid read, so I may actually just go ahead and throw this on my pull list. The only reason I got this, usually with Brew Baker and Sean Phillips stuff, I like to read their stuff in one big trade or hardcover because it flows pretty well as one bigger read as opposed to individual issues. But Criminal, like I said when I read issue 1, I never read any of the Criminal stuff prior. This one, it seems to be a completely different crime story than the first one. So actually, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and put this on my pull list because they read better individually in these. So this one appears to be about like basically a comic artist who he's basically committing crimes, obviously, thus criminal. But nonetheless, he's using forged old work that's not his and pretending it's his and just putting a signature on it, and it's being sold in the black market, basically. And as you can see here, that definitely doesn't look like, the way we would think about a comic book artist. So Brubaker and Phillips definitely tell a very intriguing story using the comic medium because, in a comic book, you're going to get comic fans to read it. And yeah, it's definitely interesting as a comic book fan reading this book. So I highly recommend Criminal. They're 2 issues in, and they're 2 successful issues in. So I very much enjoyed that. Next up, I do want to go back and reread these because I've been a little bit lost on the storyline just for whatever reason. But nonetheless, Blackbird, Jen Bartel continues to knock it out of the park on the art. The art is by far the star of this book. It is very beautiful, very, very colorful. I think she does, I don't know if she does all of her own colors or not, but nonetheless, I'm still buying this book just to look at the visuals. Sam Humphrey's story isn't too bad, but like I said, since this is issue 5, it wraps up the story. I want to go back and reread issues 1 through 5 again, just to put all the puzzle pieces together. Because I'll be honest, I read this last Wednesday, and the story was so unremarkable. I've already kind of forgot what happens in this book. So shame on me. I know I'm supposed to be I have my own channel. I'm supposed to review these type of books, but dang, I'm struggling to remember what happened in this book. But I remember it was very beautiful, so I recommend it for the art. Next up, this one continues to be, Bat Guano crazy. We got The Batman Who Laughs, issue 3. So we're at the halfway point of the Scott Snyder and Jock story. And once again, I just love Jock's art on this. But yeah, like I said from the beginning, issue 1 was a little bit of a lull for me. But issue 2 may as well have been the issue 1 for me. It's kind of like that Dan Slott Fantastic Four where they could have told you all of issue 1 and probably like 1 page of issue 2, but nonetheless, issue 3 was very good. just the fact that, you're slowly seeing Batman turn into the Batman who laughs because of the Batman who laughs. Like I said, it's a little crazy. And meanwhile, you got Joker with a hole in his chest, like attacking Alfred. And it's going off the rails pretty quick. So I'm really curious to see how Batman and Alfred are going to get out of this one, because not only are they in trouble, like the Grim Knight, he's taken Jim Gordon, and James Gordon's on the loose on top of it, because you have the Black Mirror creative team on top of it. So there's a lot of crazies running around Gotham right now, and Batman, he's pretty much screwed at this point. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're gonna come back from that. But before I keep going, I want to get back to the chat, because you guys are blowing it up over there. We got G Polly's Peter. What is going on, GPAP? Always glad to see him. I want to thank him for inviting me to his dollar sale the other day with Evan. That was a lot of fun. I know Paul's going to get like a whole short box of Valiant from that. So I can't wait to see Paul's unboxing. I know I'm looking forward to mine too, because I'm getting a lot of stuff from you guys. So thanks again for that. We got Liking the Covers 4963. What is going on, man? I always enjoy seeing his comments on my past videos, because he was like retroactively watching a lot of my older stuff. And he says, what's going on? Congrats on 100. Thank you for watching the videos. We got Count Von Strange the Fourth in the chat. What is going on, Count? He's another person who supported me for a very long time in these live streams, so I want to thank him. Another person I want to thank is the Double S. Used to be Double S Comic Reader. He is back to calling me Mr. Dare to Defy again. He keeps throwing it around with those nicknames, which I always enjoy and get a laugh out of. But I always enjoy your comments. Double S. Next up, we got one of the best collectors of Action Comics and Archies. We got Mr. Gretzky 9966, another person I always enjoy talking to, especially in other people's chats. It's almost like me and him will have a chat onto our own in other chats, so it's always fun talking to Gretzky. Next up, we got Jesse from JLS Comics. I know he's always killing it on the Thursday Comic Conversation, so always happy to see Jesse in the chat, because he's one of the first live shows I watched when I first started this craziness of my Tuesday live stream. And then let's see who else we got. As I scroll down, we got Gamma Comics in the chat. He says, what's going on? We got Steve, just Steve. How's it going, Steve? Glad you're in the chat. So I'll definitely have to check out his channel afterwards. Hadn't seen him in my chat. So everyone, check him out, sub him up, as we always do. I finally got to take a drink of water. I've been waiting for him to pop in that chat. We got Bake the Snake. Sorry, I think I cleared my throat too much on that one. But nonetheless, we got Baked Snake in the chat. Always like seeing him. Always got to thank him once again for these turtle shot tumblers you see in the background. Next up, we got one of the New York Warriors announced. We got Joker M21. Always happy to see Joker in the chat. Glad to have you tonight. So we got both Jokers. This is great. And then we finally have some royalty in the chat. We got Pope Cerebus the First. Another one of my favorite people to chat with in these chats. And Stay Puff 1983. He says, hey, Seawood, I enjoyed the WWE pay-per-view review. I was being very comical in the chat, which is how I feel about WWE LOL. Yeah, man, I couldn't have put it better. I think on the Elimination Chamber, definitely check out our review on the Great Legend Show channel. We did it last Sunday, directly after the pay-per-view. And the Elimination Chamber was a phenomenal match between Kofi and Daniel Bryan at the end especially. But the rest was a pretty mundane show, especially what happened on Raw. It's a big meh for me overall. Next up, we got the Slag Dragon himself, TJ Watson. Happy to see you in the chat, TJ. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope I haven't missed anyone. Oh, we still got a couple more people out. We got Who Dat Comics and Movies. I'm guessing he just wrapped up his live show, so sorry to step on his toes a little bit. He was doing a Bueller Box unboxing. And I believe he is now a part of the To Slab or Not to Slab show every Monday on Tony Sanders' channel. So check out Who Dat on those. And I believe I just got my shipping notification today, Who Dat. I'm getting those giant size X-Men, that Spider-Man booth mystery boxes. So they should be on their way. So everyone stay tuned to the channel for that. Hopefully Who Dat and I can have another joint mystery unboxing, because we're hoping for some giant size X-Men. I saw Rag718. He says, yo, yo, yo. Glad to see you in the chat, Rag718. And I think I got everyone finally. So once again, happy to have you guys in the chat. I got 2 more reads, and then we'll get into this week's crazy antique store haul ahead. Next in my hand, I got the B cover for Wonder Twins #1. this is one of those reads. It wasn't too bad, but it definitely didn't compel me to want to read this monthly. Um, I enjoyed the chemistry between the Wonder Twins and the DC Trinity, basically. So you had funny moments with the whole crazy Thunderlust thing, and Superman and Batman are explaining their nicknames from high school to make the Wonder Twins feel better. So that was pretty funny. But other than that, I wasn't too crazy about the art. The colors made some interesting decisions on all of the characters. I was like, yeah, I could have did without. But yeah, if I hear this book is good, maybe I'll eventually pick up a trade. But I'm good with just the first issue for now. I won't be picking up issue 2. The last order, probably my pick of last week, Magic Order number 6. So we finally got the wrap up of the Magic Order storyline, and we found out at the end, basically, we're going to get a Magic Order Volume 2. So I'm looking forward to that. But we got Mark Millar. He's been killing it on everything he's touched since Reborn, in my opinion. And you got Oliver Coipel or Olivier Coipel, however you're supposed to not pronounce his first name. I've heard it both ways. Killed it on the art. But basically, the family that's just been getting just wrecked and destroyed for the last 5 issues finally gets a little bit of comeuppance handed out by the end of all of this. So it was a very good way to tie all those loose ends up from the other 5 issues. So this is going to make, in my opinion, for a phenomenal trade once that comes. That's probably only a couple months away. But yeah, I highly recommend Magic Order if you can read them all together, because this is actually a pretty nice ending, in my opinion, for the Magic Order storyline. So I think there's a new Mark Millar book out tomorrow, actually. I forgot to put it on my pull list, so hopefully I can get off of work in time to get a copy. But yeah, Mark Millar has been doing pretty good lately. Prodigy, I think, has been awesome too. All right, before I get into the antique haul story, I want to get back into the chat because I saw a couple more people hop in there. We got Splash Page. He says Wonder Twins activate. So, yep, we all knew that was coming. Prowler says nice watercolor cover for the Wonder Twins. Yeah, the cover B was really nice. That's pretty much what pushed me over the edge into getting the book. Because, like I said, the whole Wonder or whatever the Wonder Comics label, that's what it's called. I've been pretty apprehensive about it. They got a lot of my boys tied up in that Wonder Twins book, right? Or Wonder Twins, Young Justice book right now. We got Gretzky saying form of water from a fish. So yeah, I love the jokes there from the Wonder Twins, and we got Poor Man's Comics saying newsstand, just newsstand. We got one coming up, I promise you. I'm not going to make you wait for it. Thank you, Liking the Covers, for suggesting the thumbs up. All right, so yesterday I had the day off. Dangerous, I know, for me. I decided to hit the road, go to another city called Terre Haute, and do some shopping at some antique shops. Because if you guys watch some of my past videos, basically what I did was went to an antique shop. I found a lot of cool finds that were really reasonably priced. And I hit this antique shop up twice, got some good buys. And I finally found out on Craigslist who this vendor was. So I hit him up looking for a few things. And he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I have this other booth that I've also already been hitting up at a separate antique shop. But I sent him an email in January, and I just hadn't had a chance to get over there until yesterday. So I wanted to make sure, since I requested a few books from him, or types of books, that I actually went and shopped at his booth. So yesterday I had off, so I'm like, why not go see what this guy's dropped off? And apparently this guy's been in like every week this year dropping off stuff. So I got this stack. I got a little stack here. I got another stack here. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But nonetheless, I'll just go ahead and start with a Books A Million haul. I know it's not half-price books, but I hit up half-price books. They had one of those $20 tote bag sales. My new strategy with those has been to go the day before and just buy the stuff for $1, unless there's like a ton of stuff I want. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if it's a person who works there or someone who's really in the know. But every single time I've been to these, all the Batman and all the Spider-Man stuff has been cleaned out like 5 minutes after opening. So that tells me someone who knows what they're doing is getting this stuff before me, and I don't like that. I want to see every option. But nonetheless, the bins just weren't intriguing enough for me to want to go to half-price books. after I looked. So I didn't even get anything from them. But I went to Books A Million and found a couple things. So the first, probably the nicest find I had at Books A Million, I found this Justice #2. Awesome Alex Ross run of books if you guys haven't read it. But I found this kind of harder to find second print Batman cover. So I think a lot of them had second prints that are like just white backgrounds with a kind of like a spotlight or a sun in the back that highlights the character. And it's probably one of the nicer ones. I think the nicest of the second prints is probably this and the Captain Marvel / Shazam one. So this is the first time I've ever seen a second print Justice in the wild. So picked this up for $2. Unfortunately, they weren't dollar bins, but some of them were $1. Next up, I may have already had this book from like a 20-cent bin at Half Price Books, but once again, I found the Terminator, The Burning Earth. Just a really early Alex Ross work. So wish I had the first issue, but they only had issue 5. But nonetheless, love me some Alex Ross for $1. Had to get that. Once again, I may have had this one as well, but I can't remember if I had the Jim Lee cover. I definitely have the George Perez cover, but I had to make sure I got the Jim Lee cover as well. Found Infinite Crisis #4, once again for $1. I did not have the Jim Lee prior, I believe, so I decided, why take a chance? I'll just get it for $1. Nothing else. I'll just pay it forward to somebody if I already have it. So love Infinite Crisis. I've talked about it, I feel like 100 times at this point on my channel. So this is my 100th video. So enjoyed getting that. Glad Poor Man's Comics is in the chat because we got this of the day. Found an X-Men classic, number 78. Cool X-Men Adam Hughes early action there. So there you go. There's one of your Adam Hughes covers of the night for the channel. So once again, $1. I've said many times I try not to hoard books, but this one book is an exception for me. Every time I see it for cheap, I got to get it. So for $2, I found another Gen 13 #1. This is one of the first books I just remember kind of like trying to get as a kid, and it was like a $20 or $40 book, almost listed every time in Wizard. And me and my brother both liked Gen 13 when we were growing up, and now it's just funny because you can just keep finding them in dollar bins. So I'm just a sucker for like Gen 13 #1 and X-Files #1 from the Topps comics. That was another one that was always on like the Wizard Hot 100 lists or whatever, and was always valued very high. So now that I can get these books for $1, I get them for $1. Actually $2 for this one, but I'll still take it because it looks nice. But love me some Gen 13. Always got to pick it up. And I'm not sure why this one was $2, but I was like, I'm not going to leave this one laying. Got an Action Comics. This one's issue 341 for $2. So Silver Age Action for $2. I know Mr. Gretzky probably would have picked this one up if he saw it. So definitely had to have that. So you got some Superman and Clark Kent throwing wrecking balls at each other. I'm not sure how that works. So we'll have to crack this open and figure that out. So enjoyed picking those up. All right, before I get into, well, 2 antique store hauls, I want to get back into the chat because we still have people hopping in here, which I very much appreciate. We had Yesaloo. He says, "What's going on?" aka the total package. Yeah, it's funny. I almost thought about bringing back the Lex Luger icon just because why not? So everybody who's followed me for longer than like 6 months knows how much I love me some total package Lex Luger. We got Comic Head 84 in the chat. What's going on, Comic Head 84? I believe he just wrapped up a successful contest where he quit smoking. So big congratulations, Comic Head, for that. Let's see who else we got. I think GLS is saying something, paying him to say hi. I'm trying to get everyone in. I'm sorry. Let's see. We got Spidey Fan in the chat. He says Jock. So I know Spidey Fan loves him some Jock. I feel like I forgot to show like a Mondo something. I think we were supposed to talk about a Mondo something that I forgot to send him a message about. But there was like a timed edition Mondo poster. I think it was a Ghostbusters that looked really cool, and I forgot to order it. But oh well, like, I don't think I have room for it anyway, so it just sit in a tube. Let's see who else we got. I hope I don't. Oh, Cajun Comics. What's going on, Cajun Comics? He says, "Good evening, folks. Glad to see him in the chat." I think that's the first time I've seen Cajun Comics in there. So thank you for joining us here. Next up, we got the boy who had 7 Talks comic books in the chat. I'm really looking forward to him and Thanatos Comics show about Green Lantern, specifically the Jeff Johns run, which is one of my favorite all-time runs of any comic period. So it's his first time reading it, and obviously it's probably the 400th time that Thanatos will have read it. So I'm really looking forward to watching that live show. So check out both those guys. I'm not sure which of their channels it's on, maybe both. So be safe and sub both of them up. All right, apparently you guys are shipping packages to each other. Rag says, antique shops are so cool. Went to one the other day. Great finds. Oh, here we go. I got to take a drink for this next person. We got the big dog, Roman Curtis. What's going on, Roman? Glad to see you in the chat. One of the best auction bidders in the community, Roman Curtis. Doesn't get any better than Roman, in my opinion. All right. So, like I said, there's this vendor I was in contact with. Found out he had 2 locations in the same city. Basically, he has one, I'll call it a higher end location, where he drops off his silver and bronzes, and then he has his lockup case. And then there's a new one in like the Terre Haute Mall. I know I'm probably giving away my honey hole information way too much here, but hey, you guys can keep me from buying more stacks of books. But then there's another one. He just has $2 books, mainly copper and up, and then he has another lockup case there. But usually that one, it seems like it's a little bit higher priced. Oh, we got the Great Gazoo in the chat. I forgot to chat him. I'm sorry, man. What's going on, Great Gazoo? That's an awesome name. But nonetheless, I'll go ahead and get started with the $2 bin finds after I sort something out real quick. There we go. Because the unfortunately the bronze, most of them cost $3, and the stack was bigger on that. I'll start with this. We got House of Mystery 281. Obviously, I had to pick this up for the cover. Just an amazing Jim Starlin cover swipe. The Neil Adams Superman versus Muhammad Ali. So I've never seen this one before, and it's a newsstand. That was weak. I'm sorry. It may have been when they all had the same UPC, but I got a good newsstand coming up, I promise you. But nonetheless, I just thought this was an absolute killer cover. So I had to get that, and I love these. The main reason I got in contact with this guy, I wanted Phantom Strangers and horror books, just something just to generally see if this guy would communicate back and what he would drop off. So I didn't ask for anything specific, but maybe next time I will, since he kind of loaded up the bins for me, it seemed like. So there's that. Having her bump into this Doctor Strange issue 11. So I have a Doctor Strange 1 through 10 minus 2. So I hopefully have a number 2 in my mailbox right now. Spoilers for the next week's live stream. But it's like, hey, I may as well get an issue 11 while I'm at it, just to keep the run going. So I thought that was really cool. I'm actually, once I get 2, I'm planning on reading that whole run. Here's one that people kind of speculate on a lot, even though it's a beat up copy. I was like, why not? It's $2. Got Darkhawk number 1. Didn't want to leave this one laying in the bins. I don't know too much about Darkhawk, but I keep hearing his name pop up because, hey, it's the MCU's running high cylinder right now. Everyone's specking on every character that hasn't been introduced in anything yet. So Darkhawk, I know, is one of those spec characters. So I figured someone will probably eventually want this, so I'll go ahead and pick it up. Once again, a rough copy, but I could not leave this laying in there for $2. We got Batman, Harley, and Ivy number 1. Just a phenomenal Bruce Timm cover there. Unfortunately, this thing's, as you can kind of see on the side there, this thing's pretty ticked off, as I like to call it. Probably, considering it came out in 04, I'd almost call this a reader copy. But nonetheless, I love me some Bruce Timm, and who doesn't love him? Some Harley Quinn and Ivy. So had to pick that up. Going back to the horror genre, we got House of Secrets 102. Just another amazing, like late 70s, like early 80 probably horror cover. So thought that was really cool. Couldn't remember if I had this one or not. I don't think I did, but I'm trying to complete the New Mutants run because I have all but 1 key. So here's some Rob Liefeld goodness. New Mutants 93 for $2. Pretty good condition in my opinion on it. Minus about 3 spine ticks, even though it has that weird, like, when they got lazy with the binding, it looks like a spine roll, but the staples are actually in the correct spot. So it's just oddly printed. So there we go. Had a Strange Adventures 232 for $2. So I definitely don't see too much Strange Adventures land in these bins. So I would love to get the first appearance of Animal Man in the Strange Adventures run, but we're working on that this year. But hey, for right now, I'll take 232 for $2. Found a 10 center in the $2 bin. It is beat the all can get out, but I'm like, I'd kick myself if I left the 10 center for $2. Got Jimmy Olsen, number 53. Like I said, it's pretty wrecked. Not the best, but hey, I think this might be the first time I've actually picked up a 10 center. So I think I actually have one 10 center, and I probably should have just, you might want to close your ears, white gloves. I may probably just had to throw it out because I almost tried to take it out of the bag, and like you could, it was like almost turning to dust. So, so this is probably like the second worst 10 center I have in the collection now. But hey, $2, why not? We got some good J. Scott Campbell goodness and probably a really, really, really early Shuri appearance. We got Black Panther issue number 3. Awesome female Black Panther cover there from J. Scott Campbell. Like I said, I don't know tons. I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'm wearing the Black Panther t-shirt, I just realized. But I believe, this is that Shuri run from Reginald Hoodlin and Ken Lashley. So couldn't leave J. Scott in there for $2. Like I said, I got a lot of books to show tonight. So if you guys just like seeing books, you came to the right spot. We got DC Superstars presents all new giant secret origin of supervillains. Wow, that's a long title, but it's in issue 14. So I like the Huntress origin from this run and that Greg Morrow Zatanna one. I still got to pop this out to see if someone cut off the back cover like they did my Zatanna comic, but figured I may as well go ahead and keep collecting those. Like I said, I asked for Phantom Stranger. This guy did not disappoint. So I think what he tried to do, he tried to put his wrecked copies in the $2 bin and his slightly nicer copies in the $3 and $5 bins at the other store. So at the $2 bins, I found issue 23, which is still perfectly serviceable for, reading purposes. So I need to start taking inventory on what I own on this run. I'm guessing I'm not going to get too many doubles since I've been buying from the same guy the whole time. But it's getting to the point where I have so many, I may as well see if I can complete like up to issue 20 in this run, or 25. Because here's issue 21 as well. Just another very cool cover there. I love the orange and red in the background. And then this one looks, it's seen better days, but hey, it's still cool to find a Phantom Stranger number 8 for $2. So very awesome cover there. Love that. Got a Neil Adams Superman 307 with Supergirl smashing the model city of Kandor. So couldn't pass up $2 Neil Adams. I'll pay $2 for that all day. Then the last one for $2, once again, probably cover completely detached. I haven't had a chance to crack it open and look, but I would assume this is pretty wrecked. We got the Flash 203. Looks like Flash trying to pull some poor lady into the real world. So thought that was a really cool cover. It almost looks cooler, a little beat up in my opinion. So definitely had to have that for $2. It was the first one I picked up when I was flipping through these bins. So that wraps up the $2 portion. We only get more expensive from here, unfortunately, for my wallet. Before I keep going, I do want to get back into the chat. We got Steven Spock in the chat. So what is going on, Steven Spock? Glad to see you back again. Joker says, Roman Curtis, when are we going to start our Detroit City podcast? Yeah, I would definitely listen to that, guys. That'd be pretty awesome. We got Ruben and Eves in the chat. What is going on, Ruben? Glad to see you back in the chat once again. Always love seeing the Red Lantern logo in there. Spidey fan like the Bruce Timm. Yeah, absolutely. Rag718 says his Darkhawk just came back 9.8. That's pretty awesome, man. Congratulations on that. It's a great book to have it at 9.8 right now. Splash Page is talking about, he's talking about the spine ticks on that one book, I'm guessing. He says, need to spray to get rid of the ticks. And I'm guessing he didn't like hearing me want to throw out a comic that's turning to dust. So there we go. I knew he'd like that one. So there we go. All right. So unfortunately, the bigger the stacks was the more expensive books. So there were a couple there was like a couple for $4 and one for $5. I can't remember which ones those were. So I'm just going to assume every one of these was $3. It's probably like some of the older ones that were in a slightly better condition. But for $3, we'll start off. I got a Spider-Gwen variant cover for issue 4. This is a Mark Brooks variant. Love me some Spider-Gwen, and that is just an awesome cover for Mark Brooks. So the other reason I like this guy's booth at the higher end location, it seems like pretty much anything like modern and up, he just throws like $3 on, no matter what it is. So like, there's probably a couple other things I could pick up there. Like he has a lot of the New 52 Batmans, like issue 2 and up for I think $3 and $4. Basically, slightly less than cover. But I already have those, so I'm not going to hoard them unless anyone's just looking for them. I could try to swing by next time. But I didn't have this cover, so I thought that was really nice. Uh, First time in a long time I've seen a Watchmen in the wild, so I found a Watchmen issue 3 for $3. It is in pretty good condition, only a couple ticks on that, so figured why not? Couldn't leave this one laying in there. There was his $2 bins. He had like another issue. It wasn't issue 4, the origin of Dr. Manhattan, but I had that in my stack, and I realized it looks like someone just like spit chew all across the top cover. I'm like, nope, going back in. I don't care if it's $2. We'll find a better copy somewhere down the line. Here's a cool cover I've never really seen before. I got a Batman issue 41. Really awesome Sean Gordon Murphy cover. And this had to be pre-White Knight too, so definitely thought it was cool to get a Joker cover from Sean Gordon Murphy before his White Knight work. Which if you guys haven't read that, go read that. Go buy it. The trade's out now. Buy the trade. They'll probably do 10,000 printings of it, I'm sure, in hardcover, absolute edition, and that. But for now, if you can get that trade, I recommend it. So that's a cool cover from him. I think that was most of my modern pulls. Everything's kind of copper and behind from here on out. Slowly been getting into Deadman stuff. So it was cool to see Phantom Stranger issue number 33 in there, where the characters kind of cross over. So love me some Boston Brand. So enjoyed that. Like I said, these copies are a little bit more than $2, and as you can kind of probably tell already by the camera, these are better quality copies. So again, issue 29. No, they're awesome cover. Go into some House of Secret or House of Mystery. Sorry, so I got House of Secrets and House of Mystery in the stack. We got an issue 187 on that. So trying to put together as many of these as possible because I just really love the covers on these 70s DC horror comics. So can't pass them up if I see them cheap. Here's some Kirby for you. We got some Forever People number 2, 15 center. This might have been one of the ones that was like $4 or $5 because this is in pretty nice condition in my opinion. I mean, it's got some ticks on it, of course, but hey, it's a 15-cent DC book. So, and then just that cover presents extremely well. Love the photo type cover in the background with the Jack Kirby art on top. So, thought there was no way I was leaving this in those bins. So, I thought that was very nice. We got a Brave and the Bold, but once again, Batman, Phantom Stranger team up. Decided to go ahead and grab it. I don't collect a lot of Brave and the Bold, just because it seems like they're usually like bigger size, and because of the older state of the books, they're usually all kind of jacked up. But nonetheless, we got issue 98 here. 2 of my favorite characters crossing over, so figured why not go ahead and grab that. This one it's wrecked in the bottom corner, but this is just a phenomenal cover from Carmine Infantino. Couldn't leave the Spectre, Flash, Brave and the Bold, number 72 in there. But yeah, like I said, I didn't realize until I got home. It's pretty wrecked right here, as you can see on the camera there. But I mean, just look at that cover. It's absolutely amazing. Couldn't pass that one up. So I thought that was awesome. We got the Witching Hour number 26. So I don't buy too many of these Witching Hours, but like I said, I think the guy, horror comic, he probably dropped it in there for me. So I kind of just wanted to show my gratitude by picking these up. So once again, that's issue 26. Love that bright blue cover there. And then we have issue 17. So there's that one. And then trying to think of who did that cover, but I forget. Sorry. But yeah, once again, I love these 70s horror covers. Here's a series I've never really collected before, but you got some cool Joe Kubert on it. We got the Viking Prince number 12, so just early Joe Kubert art. So definitely wanted to pick that up once I saw it. Thought that was awesome. We got the Unexpected issue 128. Another awesome cover. So like I said, you kind of see a trend here in what I've been picking up from this guy. And this stuff, like I don't know if he just has a massive collection he just keeps offloading, or if he has a source somewhere else that I need to find and cut him off at the source. But like I said, the very reasonable prices for these books. We got some Swamp Thing issue 17. Very nice copy of that. This might have been the other $4 book because the guy knows to put a little bit extra on those Swamp Things. But yeah, just I'm trying to collect as many of these as possible. Even though, like, probably in the Wrightson run, I don't really collect a lot after issue 10 because I think he's off the title at that point. Pretty much from Wrightson up until the Alan Moore start. But I didn't want to leave it late because I got a lot of those already. Sorry about that. We got Strange Adventures 207. A beautiful copy. I think this is the $5 book, if I remember correctly. So just some awesome Neil Adams goodness there. I feel like karma's guiding me toward that 205 eventually. Because I found about a few months ago, I found a $3 copy of 208. Now we have 207. Hopefully, maybe next I'll get a $3 copy of 206 and find that cheap copy of 205. But for now, I'm going to take this beautiful copy of 207. Diving into the Marvel side, we got Chamber of Darkness issue 2. I think I got issue 1 off of Big Bear on the Great Legends auction. So I figured, hey, why not just get the second issue as well? Just another beautiful book, even though it's got that nice spine roll going on. There you go. And then we got issue number 7, which as soon as I saw Bernie Wrightson's name on the bottom corner there, I knew I had to have it. So love me some Bernie Wrightson, obviously, so had to pick it up there. And then, surprisingly, he was selling some McFarlane's, or actually Black Suit and McFarlane Spideys for $3 a piece, which I kind of told myself, any more on those bronze and early copper Spider-Mans, you may as well just go ahead and pick them up for $3 or less. So it was right on that line of price range. I would pick them up for non-keys. So I figured, why not? I got issue 252 from Erod in the New York Warriors auction this year. Got 253 in a dollar bin a couple weeks ago, so I figured, why not just keep going? I found 254 for $3. So, and once again, these copper Spideys are in pretty dang good condition too. So I got that for $3. Next one he had in the bins was 257. So once again, nice copy at 257. Can't beat that. I may already have this one, but this is probably going to be an upgrade copy for me. We got 260, cool Hobgoblin cover. Newsstand, there you go. And then going on to the McFarlane run, which I was kind of surprised. He hadn't had these McFarlanes before. I know I would have picked them up already, but we got 307. From Chicago Comes the Chameleon. So, like I said, the amazing McFarlanes I don't see around here too much, and obviously everyone loves them some Todd McFarlane, so these things don't last long when they do hit the bin. So I'm like, I'm just going to pick all these up. So I have them. We got issue 310. So this especially helps me collect those. I started collecting a lot of the runs from the 300s and up because I got a lot with the first Carnage with it last year, and that really filled most of my run in the 300s. We got a cool lizard cover on 313 newsstand. So there you go, another great cover. I guess that 257 was the second appearance of Puma. So hey, that's cool for $3. We got 320. Enter the man called Paladin. Have gun, will kill. Okay, that's a weird grammatical sentence there. But nonetheless, happy to have another McFarlane Spidey in the collection. Fortunately, part 2 was not in the bin, but I got part 3 of the Assassination Nation plot. So there we go. Great cover there. 324. Boom. And then the last one he had was 325. Really cool Red Skull cover for McFarlane in the background there, like that. All right, so there's one more book I got. It was in that glass case. But before I get into that, I want to get back into the chat to see who I missed and see what you guys are talking about. Joker's talking about it was the first Neil Adams on Dead Man. That's pretty cool. We got Jeff G in the chat. What's going on, Jeff G? Glad you can make it in time. Who Dat pointed out 257 was the second appearance of Puma. It's Amazing Spider-Man 257 from that black costume run. Yesaloo loves the Spider-Man books. Boy Who Had 7 says subbing everyone up. Yeah, definitely sub each other up, please, because there's a lot of great people in here tonight. Jeff G loves them newsstands, so glad to hear that. And then Spidey fan, obviously he loves him some Spidey. And Splash Page loves the Kirby. All right, so I got the Mylar blue tape treatment on this one. So luckily I had some money in my wallet I forgot from Christmas. I got some Christmas money, so I'm like, I may as well get something nice. It was a very reasonably priced book he had in his case, and it was right in that fine line price range, which I wouldn't have paid more for. But I got this nice copy. Could use a cleaning. Batman 357. First appearance of Jason Todd. First appearance of Killer Croc. You got a double first appearance. And I've been promising you guys all night. Newsstand. So newsstand of the day. Batman 357. Just a beautiful copy of this book, in my opinion. The only defects, and I just wonder if they could be cleaned off. There's a little bit of staple rust going on here. Nothing too severe where it's staining the book. And it looks like previously, I can't tell if there's like a tiny chunk missing out of the bottom of the book. And of course, autofocus, thank you. Anyway, there's a tiny chunk either missing there or it's a chunk from another book. It almost looks like it's from another book for me. So I don't know if there's like a cleaning method that would make this pristine. But if it wasn't for that and a little bit of that staple, like it'd probably grade like an 8.5 in my opinion. Like I said, I'm not an expert grader, but looking this over several times, it is just a great looking copy in my opinion. So happy to add this one to the collection. Immediately as soon as I got home, I put it in this nice shiny My Lights 2 from E. Gerber with the fullback treatment. So one of those books I never thought I'd find for 40 bucks at this point. So yeah, I paid 40 bucks for it. Thought it was a reasonable deal for the condition and considering it's kind of a double key. And all they gotta do is say like, all right, Red Hood, you're gonna be in this movie, and then we'll have Killer Croc in it too, and then you won't be able to find this book. So just knew I'd kick myself if I passed it up. So definitely happy to add this to the collection. So yay. All right, let's get back into the chat, see what you guys have to say about that. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Boy 7 likes the Jason Todd and Killer Croc, and everyone's just acknowledging the double first appearance, which, yeah, I mean, you can't pass it up for that. Tacoma says he's an expert grader. That's a B+. So glad you can grade over webcam. That's a nice skill to have, Tacoma. All right, well, I got Tacoma Comics in the chat. That reminds me, got a little bit of an auction preview lined up for you guys. Tomorrow on All About Comics channel, we'll be having another one of our auctions. And actually, Hoodad will be there too, of course. But we do our auctions the first and third Wednesday of every month on All About Comics, usually 9 p.m. Eastern is the start time for those. So I decided to show a little bit of what I'll be offering tomorrow. So just in case you guys are interested in buying some books, found another copy of Superman #7, the giant size Walmart with the controversial Tom King story in it. So last time I did this for 10 bucks plus 7 shipping. Or if you just want to stack it into another lot, you buy tomorrow. But yeah, I was just going to do the same thing, 10 bucks, 7 shipping. Buy it now on that. If anyone needs a copy of that, that will be available. Or for all I care, the buy it now, you can just do now for all I care. But I put together 3 lots. So the first one, actually, I'd probably just start with this one tomorrow. Would be my first lot. I got these cool connecting Todd Knott covers. So if you guys watched any of my sketchbook videos, you guys know I love me some Todd Knott. He's absolutely awesome. So when I saw these solicited, luckily I did the Midtown stuff when these originally came out. But I was kind of doing some research and I could not find like any lots on eBay where you could get all 4 of these. So it's a connecting cover. It's almost like a Where's Waldo for Wolverine, basically. So I'll just kind of show them one at a time, I guess. So all 4 of these connect into one cool poster, and it's from Return of Wolverine. There were 4 one-shots going into that because you guys know how Marvel loves their one-shots going into stuff. So once you put all 4 of these together, they make a very cool presentation. So I can't remember how much I was going to start this one off at. Probably 20 bucks plus 7 shipping, because if I remember right, they're all $5 a piece. So I was just going to charge cover for them if anyone wanted them, just to pass them on to somebody else. Because I still can't clear up enough room in my X-Men. As you can kind of see in my trend, the last 2 or 3 auctions have all been X-Men books. Even though a lot of these I don't want to get rid of, but I just don't have the room for them in the boxes. So next up, I don't know what I have against J. Scott Campbell. Like, I tend to sell his stuff, but I have a lot of J. Scott Campbell, so it doesn't hurt. And this one I'm going to start off high tomorrow. It's probably going to be $60 plus the 7 shipping. But I really don't want to sell this book. But at the same time, if someone else wants it to clear up space in my collection, that's fine. So I was going to do a little bit of a stacker lot on this. So once again, spoilers for those who are watching my feed. That way you know exactly what to expect. So I've got this Uncanny X-Force signed by Rick Remender, and it's the J. Scott Campbell. I believe this was a 1 in 50 cover for Uncanny X-Force. Couple pressable ticks, I would say, on this cover, and then a tiny like white spot on the very bottom there, where it just, it was on a shelf. That's all that happened. But other than that, I'd say this is a pretty cherry copy with that nice red background. And it is not the Midtown variant. This cover was also used for the Midtown variant. So as you can see, this was this was put on the direct. So I'd probably start this one at $60 because this is a hard book to find, especially as I wouldn't call Uncanny X-Force a low print run, but I believe this was a 1 in 50. No room. TJ says no room is never excused. Sorry, TJ. But I think for $70, I'm going to add the Street Fighter #2. Not a J. Scott Campbell cover. You see that often. And it's signed by J. Scott Campbell. So kind of forgot I had that one. It was just in the same bag as this next book. So I'm like, I may as well offer that up too. See if anyone wants it. So there's a J. Scott Campbell SIG book right there, if anyone were to be interested. And if it gets up to maybe $80, I'm going to add this Wildsiders lenticular. I forgot I had until Poor Man's Comics mentioned it in a Instagram post. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that book. And it's also signed a nice shiny silver by J. Scott Campbell. So we got a nice signed lot of J. Scott books, even though one needs his signature. It still has Rick Remender on it. But there you go. Cool lenticular goodness. A very nice book to have if you like J. Scott Campbell. So that'll be lot number 2 for tomorrow. Then lot number 3. This is basically purely to get rid of some doubles. I recently upgraded some of these, and I decided I don't need doubles of these. Maybe I do, but I'm deciding right now I don't. We got It's Rain Down, faded cover, but we got Uncanny issue 117. Nice barcode at the bottom there that the Psy wore. So nice. If you're looking to collect those bronze X-Men's, definitely a nice book to have. Next up, another double for me was X-Men 119. So there's that. This one, it's in better condition as the previous one, but there's still some action going on right next to their heads there, unfortunately. So there's that. Here's one. It's got some tape pull on it. So like I said, I took the upgrade copy. Figured I'd offer this X-Men 120 up to anyone who just wants a copy of it. As you can see right on the title, though, it has some tape pull, some very bad tape pull. But other than that, this book is in pretty decent condition. Not too many ticks. Actually, to put it in White Gloves language, it looks like it's been sprayed for ticks, so it doesn't have any ticks on the side. So there you go. I'm stealing that one, White Gloves. Beyond that tape pull, it's a very nice book, so it sucks that that's on the cover. I'll save that one for last. We got Giant Size X-Men Annual number 9. A cool collab between Art Adams and Walt Simonson. So for those of you gearing up for C2E2, if you were looking for an Art Adams book, here's your opportunity because he did this whole book, I believe. So cool stuff there. And then, in my opinion, the big thing in and then the one book I believe is First Shadow King. Duh. Thank you, Poor Mans, for correcting that. In my opinion, what the big draw of the slot will be, I'm probably just going to throw $50 starting bid at this one, 7 shipping. X-Men 129. Like I said last week, I had an upgrade copy, so I upgraded that copy. But this one's still not too bad either. It's got it has not been sprayed for ticks, as White Gloves would put it. But nonetheless, like I said, the side, it's got some spine ticks on it. But it's got this nice Chris Claremont signature I got on my own. Unfortunately, no certificate of authenticity. You just kind of take my word for it. But if you're looking for a copy and you get a bonus SIG on it, I believe he signed this at Wizard World either 05, 06, or 07. I got to pull out my program and figure out which one I went to that he was at. because I think there was one year I missed that he went, and then he went the next year, and I got signed by him there. So I'm offering up the one I got a Claremont signature on. So yeah, first appearance of Kitty Pryde, first Emma Frost. What's the other dude in the Hellfire Club? Sebastian Shaw, I think it's his first appearance. And yeah, a very, very nice book to have in the collection right now, because apparently they're debating making a movie with either one of those characters. So once again, you get that like that Jason Todd Killer Croc book. You get a nice double first appearance in 129, and it's signed by Chris Claremont. So there you go. I think that'll be the biggest thing I offer up tomorrow will be this lot. So there you go. And then Tacoma's trying to convince me to auction off that Boba Fett book I showed last week. Nah, that one's staying in the collection for a minute. The guy, the seller going back to the antique shop, he had that Boba Fett book I didn't have, and I almost bought that too, but I resisted. All right. So I still have 10 minutes to go. Who would have thought? But what did I do with that book? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try to keep this very quick since there's only 10 minutes to go. But I want to see Wizard Magazine from 2002 in June. So if you guys want to know what the comic books were valued in 2002, go ahead and type them in the chat, because I was going to hopefully have more time to talk about this, but I'm kind of in that point now where well, I'm not even an hour yet, but I'm close. So anyway, just a nice Adam Hughes cover that, if you're collecting Adam Hughes comics, you'd want to have this in your collection. It's a must-have. And yeah, it's just a nice book to have in the collection for those Adam Hughes completionists out there. Awesome cover of Gene and Emma. Unfortunately, it has not been best taken care of, but nonetheless, it's still a very nice copy. But not Claim Wizard. But nonetheless, let's see what fun Wizard had in 2002. So looks like I think I actually found this Ace edition for $1. Looks like the comic they're offering up that month is an Amazing Spider-Man, cool Humberto Ramos cover on it. How much did an Ace edition cost in 2002? To get the Ace edition for Amazing Spider-Man number 14, it would have cost you $12.99. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't I collected the Wizard 1/2s, but luckily I didn't go after the Ace editions, because some of them they weren't worth $12.99. But yeah, and actually you could have got I bet this one would be cool to have though. The X-Men 94, $12.99. That'd be more up my alley, I think, than the Spider-Man one. But hey, the who doesn't love some Spider-Man? Okay, Steven Spock is requesting Hulk 181, and Yes Lou wants to know ASM 300. So we'll go ahead and skip to that because, like I said, unfortunately, I brought up this segment with limited time. Actually, but first, I'll get into what was the Hot 10 comics in June of 2002, because it's interesting. So at the number 10 spot, we have Batman 600 from Ed Brubaker and Scott McDaniel on the art. So yeah, I mean, it's a milestone issue. It's a 600. There weren't too many of those back then. Number 9, we go to the Ultimate Universe for Ultimate Spider-Man issue 13. That's the book where Spidey reveals his identity to Mary Jane, and considering it was only like a year in, that's kind of a big deal back in the day, because it took him a long time in the 616, obviously. Next up, we've got from CrossGen, Ruse number 1 from Mark Waid. Not even a book I've ever heard of or remembered, but love me some more. Actually had a good art lineup from Mike Perkins, so that's cool. 7 was Origin number 1. So that thing was the second that came out, that was on this Hot 10 list pretty much the whole time it was out. Catwoman number 3 was number 6. So he says retailers knew Catwoman would be big, so they ordered the holy heck out of the first 2 issues, held off on number 3. So Ed Brubaker was a pretty hot writer, obviously, at this time. So just his name being on Catwoman rocketed it to the Hot 10 list. Number 5 was the Peter Laird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would love to have that one. That's a book I've never seen in the wild before, so that'd be a cool one to get now, in my opinion. Number 4 is the Marvel Mangaverse Spider-Man from Kari Andrews. So I think that was kind of like one of Kari Andrews' breakout books, if I remember correctly, back then. Number 3, another book, kind of like Wolverine's Origin. Another book that would just stick like glue to these hot 10 lists was Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Big duh there. It says it was selling for like $75 back in the day. So I'm glad I have like 3 copies of that now. Alias #1 was #2. So that was once again Brian Bendis's big breakout hit besides Ultimate Spidey, was Alias. Then #1 was kind of an interesting one. Incredible Hulk 34. That's kind of when John Romita came back on the art for that book. So that was kind of a big deal back then. And it had those cool covers like the Steranko cover swipe. It was a very nice cover they had on that one. All right. So we're looking up Hulk 181 and Amazing. We'll do Spidey first and go in alphabetical order. So let's see what we got for Spider-Man 300. You could have got in 2002 Amazing Spider-Man 300. You could have paid $60 for Amazing 300. Boy, have times have changed. So that's pretty crazy. And then, hey, while we're here, let's look up Carnage. So you could have got the 361 for $7 maximum, and that second print for $1.25. So once again, times have changed. All right, let's see if they've managed to publish the 181 listing in here. So we got to go to Incredible Hulk, obviously. So actually, 181 was still pretty high back then. So they list it at $925, which wow, I figured to be lower. But yeah, it was almost at $1,000 way back when. So that's kind of cool. And then other than that, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm trying to think of anything else I would want to look up. Maybe I'll just continue this one to be continued, maybe, unless you guys want to have any other requests. But I just wanted to show off this Adam Hughes cover because why not? Just a very nice one to have in the collection. May hang on to it forever. We'll see. 1K for near mint. Yeah, it's pretty much all the prices. I'm guessing they went kind of like Overstreet, where everything is like 9.4, and you gotta consider this is pretty much like at the introduction of CGC. So I don't think 9.4s and what have you were a factor yet. So I think they just went like near mint grades for their values. Now I'm sure this will be gifted to a certain somebody in Chicago in March. We'll see. Poor man. I always like messing with Poor Man's Comics. He's one of my favorites in the community. We also have Hunter Thompson in the chat. What's going on, Hunter Thompson? Glad to see you made it in time in the chat. We also have RLM's Comics and Collectibles joining us at the tail end here. And hopefully I got everybody tonight. So I definitely want to thank you guys for putting up with me for a full 1 year now and 100 episodes. Like, cool. That's not even counting the all the other crazy appearances I've had to do on the Comic Core Great Legend show. I did an appearance on Bueller Show. It was a lot of fun. Tony Sanders and JD have had me on their channels. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anyone else, but it's been a lot of fun the last year. So I definitely want to thank you guys for popping in the chats like you have tonight, showing support, listening to me ramble off about newsstands and WCW caps and all that craziness. So just a big thank you to the community, guys. It's been a lot of fun. So before I go, I do want to do a couple last plugs. Poor man says, bring the Gotham City Sirens variant to C2E2 while you're at it. I don't know, man. It's pretty stuck up there at this point. I might have to get a spatula to get that thing down because I want to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. But once again, all about comics. JP's having his auction tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, whatever time zone you want. But you'll have me, Tacoma Comics. Of course, JP will be there. Who Dat Comics and Movies. Drew Manchu will be back. He always has some phenomenal books. Drew's the one who sold that Detective Comics lot with the 880 in it for a crazy amount. Of course, Who Dat, he's always doing his mystery slabs and stuff. And we'll see if that guy Jigs shows up again. Bids on the mystery lots, requests not to see him and doesn't make videos, which that killed me last time. I still get a kick out of that. And then we'll see if Gene Polly's Peter will make an appearance. I think he's scheduled to be on there too. So we got a pretty stacked lineup for tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. And like I said, I should have some mystery boxes on the way. So I'm hoping to coordinate with Who Dat Comics and Movies to do our joint mystery box unboxing, whether it be here on the stream or a separate stream altogether like we did last time. So look out for that. Hopefully one of the two of us will get a giant size X-Men. We'll see. I don't know. I'm guessing since they shipped out today, that hasn't been uncovered. And then Friday nights, hopefully I didn't forget anything. I feel like I'm on a show every day. But Friday nights, we got Comic Core 10 p.m. Eastern, because you never know what's going to happen on the Comic Core. I don't know. We'll see. But nonetheless, it's always a fun time. It's a great 90 minutes of YouTubing, and I'm looking forward to that. And actually, I think right now I do want to play a couple more things. I think Chad 90 Miles from Comics is having his stream now, which I may actually end up popping into his stream. But I'm really hungry because I haven't eaten dinner tonight. So if you guys haven't checked his stream out, he's got his thing going on there. And then I want to give a special shout out to Comic Tom and Comics with Bueller. They gave me the courtesy last week of kind of letting me know when they need to go live, or I guess they had to move it to Wednesday. But Bueller specifically went out of his way to make sure he didn't step on my live stream. So something he did not have to do, because obviously they're much bigger channels than me. So the fact that he would take time to think about my little channel here and, kind of coordinate a stream that, that caliber for my show, that meant a lot, even though he did not have to do that. So special shout out to those guys. They're having a should have started like a minute ago. So I'm not sure if it's Tom's channel or Bueller's, but definitely check them out as well. Most of you guys probably already subbed up. So big thanks to those guys. But other than that, I just been discovered. We got Discovered Big Comics in the chat. What's going on? He just had an auction with Big Lion Cat on. Maybe he wasn't on the. So everyone's on a live show recently. I know he was on. No, he was on the Slab or not the Slab. Sorry, but he was probably bidding on books, is why they have him in that auction. But he was on To Slab or Not to Slab last night, so that was a fun show too. And we got Ed D. What's going on, Eddie, in the chat? Always happy to see you as well. People are sending PMs to each other. That's great. Other than that, yeah, that SpidermanBooth.com is for those cool mystery boxes. I was trying to stay away from the mystery boxes, but when I got an email about Giant Size X-Men #1 being in a mystery box, I had PayPal balances. The books I got last time were good. Basically, I sold one book to somebody who really wanted it, and that paid for the mystery box. So big thanks to everyone checking it out. Hopefully, I'll churn out another 100 videos that were better than these first 100. And other than that, thanks for supporting me, staying with the ride with me for this long. And other than that, enjoy the rest of the live streams for tonight. See you on the auction. See you on the Comic Core. Have a wonderful night, guys.